Labor, with that policy, among others, Andrew, indicating that we're not that far away from the final siren in the footy language that Anthony Albanese likes to talk about.
Well, I'm a bit puzzled by Anthony Albanese's fourth quarter analogy, given that he's a mad Rabbitohs and NRL fan, Kieran, but he keeps using it. Anyway, look, Labor's begun its policy push, finally, and they've gone for this 43% target on climate, as well as promised an extra 20,000 university places and more than 400,000 free TAFE places. Despite two big spending budgets, the government now attempting to frame Labor as the irresponsible fiscal party once again. But as is always the case with big policies, there are also holes to expose in these Labor policies. Richard Marles, on Sunday Agenda yesterday, the Deputy Labor leader, unable to say just how much the safeguards mechanism Labor is promising to introduce will cost the top 200 emitting companies who are subject to it. All right. Well, how much might these companies have to spend on carbon credits? What could it cost them?
Well, at the end of the day, this is what the business is asking for. But the point to be made here again is that there is opportunity for business as well.
So you can't say how much it would actually cost one of these big businesses?
Well, what is clear, and this is what the modelling shows, is that there are cheaper power prices for business as well, and the modelling is completely clear about that. There is opportunity for
I'm talking about the cost of carbon credits.
Yeah, but there is an opportunity for the businesses themselves to grow and to employ more people, and that's made clear in the modelling.
Well, I mentioned earlier Chris Bowen, Labor's climate spokesman at the Press Club today on this climate policy, is an interesting architect of this policy. Chris Bowen has a track record of some policy failures. The ill-fated Malaysia solution as Immigration Minister, the disastrous franking credits policy at the last election, where he told people not to vote Labor if they did not like the policy. Well, the Australian community took him up on his offer. Pretty bullish language here again from Bowen. On the attack against the government through much of this speech, I thought it was almost a bitter speech in parts.
Our party has paid a big price in these climate wars. We bear the scars. There are some keen observers who predicted that Labor would simply match the coalition's approach to climate to minimise the risk of yet another destructive scare campaign from a government that has no record and no agenda to campaign on. As if signing up to their weak and pathetic targets and effectively endorsing their politics of division might be an effective tactic to convince people to vote Labor. As far as I'm concerned, this was never going to happen. Because while we must, of course, learn the lessons of battles lost, we must ensure we learn the right lessons.
Bowen also saying the Labor target would be legislated at 43% emissions reduction by 2030 and would not be larger, as Scott Morrison has claimed, no matter the state of the Parliament.
We'll say to the Parliament, there's the target. We're not negotiating about it, we're not changing it, we're not amending it. There's the legislation with the target. Parliament can vote it up, the Parliament can vote it down. That'll be the legislation we put to the Parliament. That'll be the NDC we notify the COP of. That's the policy of an Albanese Labor government.